Hi everyone. In this lesson, we are converting fractions to decimals and then decimals back to fractions. So the first skill we're going to look at is fractions to decimals. It says to convert a fraction to a decimal, you can either create an equivalent fraction. Remember, equivalent means it's of equal value with a base of 10, 100, 1000, or so on, and then write in decimal form. So we want to rewrite these fractions with denominators of 10, 100, 1000, because those are very easy to then put in decimal form. Let's take a look. 3/4. Can we easily take a 4 and turn it into 100? Definitely. By multiplying the numerator and denominator by 25. So if I do that, 4 times 25 is 100. I've now made my denominator of 4 into a nice number like 10, 100, 1000, or so on that I want to do. Now, if you multiply the denominator by a number, you must multiply the numerator by that same number, and 3 times 25 is 75. Now I have 75 hundredths. Well, 75 hundredths we know looks like 0.75. 75 hundredths in decimal form. This is what 75 hundredths looks like in fraction form. Now, hundredths are really fun because there's 100 cents in a dollar. And so 75 cents, 75 cents out of 100 cents, this would look like exactly 75 cents, 0.75. It works out beautifully. Sometimes there's fractions where it's not as easy to convert the denominator into one of these 10, 100, 1000, or so on. Like, for example, 5/8. So 8 is not going to multiply very friendly. It would be a decimal, which is okay, but it's not as friendly. So what we want to do then is we want to use long division and divide these out. If you have a different strategy for dividing that you feel comfortable with, use that. I'm going to show long division and just kind of cut right to the answer. So when I'm doing 5 divided by 8, don't forget that fraction bar is really a division symbol. I want to see how many times does 8 divide into 5. So 8 goes into not 5, but 8 goes into 50, 6 times, and then I would do 8 times 6 is 48. Bring down, subtract, whatever procedure you feel best with doing your division, please do. Long story short, I end up getting 0.625. That's it. That's my answer. So you can convert by rewriting it as a fraction with the denominator of one of these 10, 100, 1000, or so on, or just simply do the division. So for example, here I have 6 problems that we're going to be taking a look at. The first one, 3/20. Can I convert 20 into 100 pretty easily? Definitely. If I multiply by 5 over 5, I end up getting 15 over 100, 15 hundredths, which then in decimal form is just 0.15. It's like 15 cents. 5/16. 16 will not divide into 100 nicely, so I would need to set that up for my long division, or however you're doing your division. So I want to see how many times does 16 go into 5. And so if I was to do my math here, I would end up getting 0.3125. And this way actually might work out even faster if you're not sure about how to convert it in fraction form. 7/8. Let's take a look at this next one. 7/8. Again, 8, not a very friendly denominator when going to 100. So I would have to do the long division or the division, see how many times does 8 divide into 7. I end up getting 0.875 as my answer. 2/25. Could I do the division? Absolutely. But turning 25 into 100, super easy by multiplying by 4 over 4. I would then get 8/100ths. Now, I want to remind you again that when it's hundredths, it's very easy to work with because 8/100ths is like 8 pennies out of 100 pennies, which is just 8 cents. So in decimal form, it's 0.08. The last two, 11/15. 15 does not convert to 100 very nicely, so I would have to see how many times does 15 divide into 11. When you do your division, you're going to end up getting 0.73 repeating. If I want to just cut that off rather, sorry, I would write that as 0.7 and then put my bar, my funiculum over the 3 to show it's repeating. And the last one, 4 over 32. 432 is not going to convert to a friendly number nicely, so I need to divide 32 into 4. And when I do that, I end up getting 0.125. Awesome. Now, the next skill, going from decimals back to fractions, we're going to revisit that idea about having the denominator be one of those friendly tens, hundreds, thousands, and so on. It says to convert a decimal to a fraction, create a fraction by using the digits after the decimal for the numerator and the place value of the decimal as the denominator. Simplify the fraction. So here, 0.36. So 36 is my numerator. Notice I did not put the decimal there. How many places out does 0.36 go to? This is the tenths, hundredths. So because it goes out 2 places to the hundredths, it's going to be 36 over 100. Think about it. This is like 36 cents, and this literally looks like 36 cents. Then what we do is we take that fraction and now we simplify it. So I look at what goes into 36 that also goes into 100. I can divide them both by 4. And if I divide them by 4, I end up with my fraction of 9/25. Next one, 0.055. So I see the number not including the zeros is 55. How many places does this go out? It goes out 1, 2, 3. Okay, that's tenths, hundredths, thousandths. So this is 55 thousandths. So it's going to be 55 over 1,000. I can simplify both of these numbers by fives. And if I divide them both by 5, I end up with 11/200ths. Let's do the same thing here now. 0.26 or 0.26. That would be 26 over, how many places am I going out after the decimal? 2. And that is the hundredths place. So that would be 26 over 100. Divide them both by 2. And I end up getting 13/50ths. Next, 0.084. So that would be 84 over, it's going out to the tenths, hundredths, thousandths. So that's 84 thousandths. I could divide both of those numbers by 4. And if I do that, I end up getting 21/250ths. 0.732. That would be 732 over, hopefully you said 1,000. I could divide both of these numbers also by 4, and if I do that, I get 183 over 250. I'm going to encourage you to do the same thing for these next 3 problems by pressing pause and see where it takes you. Then press play when you're ready to go over it. Ready? Go. Okay, hopefully you're joining me back now after actually trying it on your own. Let's see how we did. 0.06 is 6 over 100. Divide both by 2, and we get 30/50ths. 0.4155 is 41/55. Ooh, this went out to tenths, hundredths, thousandths, 10,000ths. 10,000ths place out. I could divide both of these numbers by 5, and if I do that, I end up getting 831 over 2,000. And the last one, 8 over, this went out to the tenths, hundredths, thousandths. So 8 1,000ths. I could divide both by 4. And if I do that, I get 2 over 250. Hey, wait, we can simplify those, can't we? I can simplify that even further to 1 over 125. So I actually didn't pick the biggest common factor. The greatest common factor then would have been 8. So if I divide them both by 8, it'll bring me right to this answer even quicker. I hope this video was helpful. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.